One of the things I think that we forget about wind is that we're often putting it in places that haven't had power generation before. Now, obviously, if you live in Sasolburg or in Witbank, you'd be thrilled to have a wind farm rather than a huge coal-fired power station. But if you live in Jeffreys Bay, you haven't had power generation down there. How does the Jeffreys Bay community feel about having an installation like that on their doorstep?
Currently, all the generation in South Africa largely occurs between here and Swaziland, right? And so it's all coal-fired and it's shipped elsewhere. So there's big electrical losses along the cables. And we estimated that if you could forego those losses and build in Jeffreys Bay, you'd have enough electricity just from the losses alone to fuel 50,000 houses. So just think about that. So by having that local source of decentralized power, you're in great shape. You're bringing money to the community, hope to the community.
Your focus is very much on this historical model of a centralized power generator that then distributes its electricity. This idea of having everyone in the country with a small solar pack or a small wind stack in their backyard, that's not something that you chase?
Well, let's put it like this. I think that's a great idea. I think there should be decentralized power. I would love to see the roof of every house in the world actually constructed out of photovoltaics and a battery bank down in the basement. I would love to see that. But as a business model for us, we just don't know much about that. We have no expertise there. But we're going to see it happen anyway. And here's how we're going to see it happen. I mean, wind is something that doesn't blow all the time, and the sun shines during the day and not at night. So there's a need for storage. As we penetrate grids more and more, there's going to be a need for storage. And that's going to come right on along with cars. We're going to see, by this time 20 years, I would say, most cars in the world will be electric cars. I mean, how long do people keep cars on average? Was it 4 years, maybe? So that's 5 generations of cars away. And every car will be an electric car. That means it will be a place for storing electricity at night. And every car will be interactive with the grid during the day. So actually every car will be a mini power station during the day. My take on the future is that you're going to see decentralized power working alongside and in harmony with the great big wind farms that we can put in place.
How much bigger do you have to design a wind farm to get the same equivalent constant power that you would have if you were replacing another power station, for example?
On the question of the 5,000 kilometer grid, that will be built in DC, direct current technology. And in direct current, the losses are not proportional to the length. They're proportional simply to the cross-sectional area. That's the electrical engineering fact of life. So you can have a DC cable, and whether it's a mile long or 1,000 miles long, the loss are the same, just proportional to the cross-section area. It seems magic, but that's the way it is.